Well, so it's interesting because, going back to what is the goal of the tweet? Like, you are trying to drive people to your stream. I mean, I don't know. I feel like, you may not get as many likes and retweets on a going live tweet that has, or a picture of you that has a link to your tweet. But then it's like, well, if you just post a picture of yourself and you're live, are people going to make that connection? Are people going to make that jump, like knowing? Like, if you just say that you're live, are people going to investigate where you're live at? So is it worth the sacrifice to get, less engagement on the tweet itself, but you're actually getting people to the stream?
It's so hard to know. Recently, I've had people come into the stream and they're like, I've been following you on Twitter forever, and I'm just now checking out the stream. I'm like, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what finally made you do it, but thanks, welcome. So I feel like no matter what, it's just, I think it's really hard to get people to click on links, period. People don't like doing it. They don't like doing it.
They don't like to even see the links. I mean, just by what you guys have said, they don't even want to like a tweet that has a link in it.
So
to the I had 2 points and now they're almost gone. I would be remiss if I didn't take my opportunity to talk about vision, because I beat that dead horse every time. To very, very much to the point of like knowing your end game, knowing what it is that you want to get out of something, having a preloaded vision and mission for your brand and your content as a whole, the identity of your Twitter, I guess, as a feed of your personal identity, but also your brand identity and all that stuff. Having an idea of what you want to get out of that and what you want it to be before any virality kind of happens, makes it so much easier to make sure that you're sticking to what it is that's good for you, best for you, instead of the very easy thing to stumble into, which is, I should capitalize on this by modifying my content to match the thing that went viral, to match the thing that's getting all of this traction. And that's where several times over, many of my friends have found themselves, fortunately earlier in their career, going down that road and modifying things and changing things, and then becoming profoundly disappointed in their own content and their own creations. And I think it's really interesting to bring up Lance here. That guy on Twitter who makes all of these farcical video posts that are skits. We had him on the show at one point, and he was talking about the difference between those and his own stream. His own stream is nothing like that at all. But this is something that he wants. He wants to have the skits and the stuff that can only live in a particular format to live over there.
Yeah.
And he wants his stream to be its own separate thing with its own separate identity.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
go ahead.
I think that's a really smart way to do it, because at the end of the day, if you're setting realistic expectations for yourself and you're making choices that align with that, then you're gonna be happy. Like
happy.
For
That's
me,
the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
For me, if my expectation after going viral had been, I want to maintain these 1,500 viewers even when I'm not playing The Last of Us. You poor dumb idiot. No, you will not do that. Even if you're doing your best to retain them, you're still going to see a dip no matter what, and it's not a reflection on you as a human. Something that I would like to note before I forget it is, I think a lot of the times when people have these conversations about retention and capitalizing on things, they talk about those numbers as numbers and not as people. And the best thing you can do for your mental health is to remember that these are people watching you. It is not a number that is ranking your popularity or your goodness or whatever adjective you want to use to describe
Self-worth and praise.
There is nothing wrong. Like you mentioning that guy Lance, as soon as you said that, I went, oh yeah, I'm not a fan of those skits. Not because he's not good at them, but because that's just not my brand of humor. I think it's awesome that he makes them and he does them really, really, really well, but him not like getting my view isn't a reflection on that content. It's just like, do you like slapstick comedy? Do you like dark comedy? Like, it's so helpful for your mental health with going viral to remember these are people consuming that content. And if they don't come back, I had a lot of viewers watching me with that Last of Us clip who literally just watched the Last of Us directory. That's all they do. They just want to watch different people experience the game. They want to watch new people play it, or they want to watch people revisit it, but they're just watching The Last of Us. And it is not a reflection on me if I can't parlay that into forcing them to watch like Skyrim or Breath of the Wild or whatever it might be. So first and foremost, set those realistic expectations for yourself so you don't beat yourself up when you don't match unrealistic expectations. I think is really helpful. And bringing it back to like being happy with the results is I had a very realistic expectation. I knew I was going through something incredibly tough at the worst timing in my entire life. It was like the best thing that could have happened to me professionally and the worst thing that could have happened to me personally, and they happened at the same time. And so I had a really realistic expectation of retaining virtually none of that growth, which meant that I did my best, and when I retained some of it, that was a win, you know?
I think that's really important to hear for a lot of people that are maybe working really hard to get some kind of exposure on either Twitter or Twitch, because it's probably not going to go the way they think it is. They think it's like as soon as it'll happen, that's it. The work is done. Yeah, right. When the work is just beginning and you have a laundry list of new problems that you have to face and that you have to cope with. And I think that's really important to know, because I think a lot of people break their backs trying to gain exposure and go viral and maybe lose themselves a little bit in the process of doing that. But with the vision, you know, what kind of content creator do you want to be? What kind of entertainment do you want to provide to people? And what will make you happy? I think that's important. And I think with all of those things and just being genuine to yourself and just having fun with it, people love to see that. People love watching content creators that they can see through that stuff. I truly think so, because again, they're people, they're not numbers. They can see through that. They know when you're being disingenuine. They know when you're not happy with the content that you're creating. So it's super important, and it's just going to make you happier at the end of the day. And yeah, because luck has a really big portion of it, I think. And if you get lucky while you're staying true to yourself, that's great.
That's the
awesome.
ideal situation.